Welcome in everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm AC Kingpin 27, joined today, as always, for every episode of King's Corner. Fighting Titan. Titan, man, what's good, man?
Oh, it's good, brother. How are you this evening?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
10 out of 10, fantacular.
So we are on episode 5 of King's Corner. If you guys didn't know, King's Corner is our podcast style stream where we just talk anything and everything. We've done some NFL predictions, some college predictions. We talked to another small streamer. We're always looking for other streamers in this community to bring in here and showcase here on this stream. So if y'all are interested, please let me know. We'll try to bring you guys on and talk and get your community involved in these as well. But today's topic is all about Titan. So we let Titan pick episode 5's topic. He's going to kind of run with this here today and we're going to see what's hidden up his sleeve. We're going to let him host this show today. But our topic is best military movies. So sit back, relax, enjoy Titan. The floor is yours, man. Take it away.
Hey, good evening. Always good to be in the King's presence. So, if you're looking for this stream to be a comprehensive ranking list, if you're looking for high quality dictations about cinematics and movie scoring, then you are absolutely in the wrong stream. This is a couple of amazing vets talking just about just stuff that they enjoy in terms of military movies and just a
That's
smattering
right.
of whatever happens thrown in between, and you get the nice marbled cake that is this stream.
That
So,
is correct. He's 100% right, guys. You hear this, man. Look at the
so
love. The love the
the
Titan
love,
has, man. I love it.
the love. Oh, absolutely. All right. So favorite military movies, right? And I know for me, I don't know about how for you,
Wait a
King,
minute. Before you get going, you got to
I'm
ask the most
going.
important question of the night.
See, you get me all excited. You got me off track. You got me so excited. I forgot to ask, what's in your cup tonight? What's in the chalice?
So actually, there's no chalice tonight, but we got the bottle. We're drinking that Yingling
Oh,
Hershey's
straight.
chocolate porter, straight up right out the bottle tonight.
Oh, oh, it's beer. Thank God. I thought you were just drinking a handle. Like,
I'm
the
gonna throw that
Kings
back
had
at
a
you. I'm gonna throw
the
it back
Kings
at
had a
you. What do you
rough
got in your
week.
cup tonight, bro?
We've got Old Smoky re-released the sour blue raspberry moonshine,
Oh, yum yum.
and so that with just a hint of some Sprite Zero. It's just fantastic.
That
It
sounds
has
delicious.
enough sugar in it, right? Otherwise, I don't need the diabetes.
Right.
Don't need
Um,
or the sugars, as my mama would say.
so
The
that's how we
sugars.
try to start every video, just kind of talking about, what we've got in the cup to enjoy while we're doing this here. So we're gonna let Titan take it, and we're gonna see how this goes. I hope you guys are ready to talk with us here in chat. You guys got any comments? Leave us the comments down below. Let us know your favorite military movies. When Titan brings up some new topics, let us know your answers to those topics. We'll try to shout you out on stream.
Yeah.
If y'all are watching this video on YouTube, thank you so much for checking us out. I hope y'all are enjoying the series so far. Same thing goes to you. If you guys are any favorite movies, drop us some comments. I'm interacting with the YouTube videos as well. I know Titan's getting in there as well to start interacting here. We appreciate it. Make sure you guys drop a like on the video. Smash that subscribe button if you're looking for more content. Be sure to hit that bell notification. But Titan, take it away, brother.
All right. So we know it's military movies. We're just gonna go over just a whole bunch of different things, right? It's just a flowing conversation. So I don't know about you, but as an active military guy, and I know you're that amazing veteran status, right? Sometimes it's hard to not critique movies, especially when it deals with your particular
Right,
service,
right.
right? It's just hard, right? So like with me being a Navy cat, like the movie Battleship. Battleship just absolutely grates everything in my sailor soul.
Right. I can
Um,
understand that.
just, just
I
so
can understand
many
that.
different things. Enough that I was actually given a going away gift of a battleship memorabilia, movie memorabilia from the last place I went, just because they knew my absolutely disdain for the movie.
That's awesome. What's up, Mr. Awesome? How you doing today, buddy? Thanks for stopping by. He came in with a We Were Soldiers reference here.
Oh, such a good
See?
movie.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're gonna have fun with this today.
Mel Gibson playing Colonel Hal Moore. Um, the mobile dust off mobile cavalry. I believe it's mobile cavalry. I'm sure all the army people will hooah at me if I'm wrong. So, um,
Titan, give me 1 second. I hate to cut you off. Awesome just came in the chat and said that he also just hit affiliate. So I'm just sending out a congratulations to Mr.
oh,
Awesome. Yo,
congratulations,
bro,
Mr. Awesome.
congrats. Anything I did, man, it was nothing. It's love and support to the channel. I appreciate you, man. I'll be in there. We'll be showing you some love. But congratulations, bro. Hopefully you stick around and have some conversation with us tonight. Titan, sorry about that, man.
No, it's okay. It's just awesome being awesome and getting awarded for being awesome. I like it. Solid cat. Solid cat. And great movie, by the way. Um,
Right, right. That's a great pick.
just it's a great pick, right? So, um, there's just different movies, but there's so many amazing movies. I know we've talked. You're a huge, huge, huge World War II buff, as am I.
Yes, yes.
Um, so with that, is there any particular element? When I say element, I'm a huge fan of some of the naval and amphibious campaigns, right?
Okay,
D-Day, Coral Sea,
okay,
things of that nature, right? Just because
okay,
of the difference in naval logistics and the challenges um, that you kind of faced on the open ocean versus some of the land terrain.
okay.
But I do love all of World War II. What about you?
Well, so World War II has an affinity in my heart. Video games play a really big role in me as who I am today, right? Started off with Medal of Honor, as you guys all know. Medal of Honor was my kind of go-to playing with my dad growing up on the PC, and we rode through all those games. So when I'm looking at movies, I'm not necessarily looking at the European campaign or the Pacific campaign or what happened on the water, what happened in the air. As a totality, I just go back to as a kid, I saw and learned about the battles through video games, and that forced me to get into the books and learn
Mm,
about those battles and really what happened in the history books. So when it comes to movies, I tend to like ones that kind of play a little bit of everything. So movies like take the romanticism out of Pearl Harbor and give me that Pearl Harbor esque movie where you've got a little bit of gunfight, you've got the air warfare, a movie like Saving Private Ryan where it's
yeah,
you're in the whole time on the ground, boots on ground the entire time. A movie like Red Tails where you're in the air the whole time, you
right.
know. Um,
A good a good mix was Midway, right?
yeah,
Because
hundred
that
percent,
encompassed a whole
hundred
different
percent.
bunch of elements that tied it together really, really well.
100%, you're right there. So like for me, it's a mix. It's that affinity for the American campaigns through history that started with Medal of Honor and really grew into something else where I started looking at the other wars and stuff like that. So I would, if I'm going to pick one that really sold me, it's Medal of Honor, Allied Assault because
Mm,
it matches perfectly with Saving Private Ryan. So I
yeah,
can't go wrong there.
that D-Day scene was intense.
Correct.
Yeah. No, I did the Navy JROTC in high school, and that really kind of sparked my affinity. I'm always been a history buff.
Right.
Um, and then I really got into it when I started doing the required reading for the Naval Academy, right? Because I came really, really close to going,
Okay.
to the Naval Academy as a life path. I didn't for a couple of reasons, but doing that, reading, the influence of sea power upon history, and that 1800s maritime tactical perspective, I thought was super, super
Yeah.
interesting,
Yeah.
right? Because it's not what we have now. What we have now is we have somebody who can sit in, Bismarck, South Dakota, and they can push a button or fly a drone,
Oh yeah.
and that drone strikes halfway across the world. And
Yeah.
that's the war of today. But that is not that. When you think of war, that essence, and that essence for me
Well,
came out of World War II.
yeah. You look at
Um,
that war strategy. You're right. 100%.
it matters, right? You had radar, but naval battles were, naval battles. I mean, hell, Coral Sea was the first battle where
So
neither carrier actually saw the other one for a battle,
so then
because
let
of
me throw
planes.
this back at you, and let me ask you pretty much what you asked me. What's the one area of conflict that, in movie wise, that just catches your fancy in regards to military movies? What's the one go to for you? Is it the Navy battles? Is it the air conflict? What is it for you?
For me, there's a small split. So outside the movies, it's the naval aspect, just because that's it's such a unique strategy and stuff required, right? Because there's not terrain. It's giant open oceans. It's strategically positioning, logistics, underway replenishments, the whole nine.
Okay.
in the movies though, I do enjoy a great ground movie, and I say that because one, a lot of them highlight the military, medic, or for me being a hospital corpsman,
Correct. Yeah, you
doing
have that
love.
direct line. Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah, for me, it's just striking the chord of emotions, right? You
Right.
know, it's who put cut onions on their popcorn when I was watching this movie.
Right.
Um, it's those types of things.
Okay.
Um, so
That makes sense.
with that being said, I know you've already kind of mentioned Saving Private Ryan. So um, before we get into the tops list, so what would you say your favorite Army movie is? Because I know you've mentioned Saving Private
Hmm.
Ryan. You've got a lot of other different ones
I don't know.
out there.
I really don't know if I have that special. I think if I look at my top five, I truly think that two of my top three are Army related. So, I mentioned Saving Private Ryan with that kicker that kind of started it off, right, as a kid, but it was Medal of Honor that kind of started it. I got to
Hmm.
throw it, if I'm looking favorite, it's got to be Black Hawk Down because the realism in that movie, I know they didn't stay true to form with the book and really what exactly happened, but it's as true as it can possibly be, right? Um, Black Hawk Down, man, just the sequences, the from a movie perspective and getting it right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's too many times we just don't get it right, and I feel like that's the one that hit the nail on the head.
So I know, yeah, no, those are absolutely great, great movies. Definitely keep you on the edge of your seat, possibly falling over a time or two.
Right.
Um, I know for me, one of the movies I love, Army wise, doesn't even involve the American Army, believe it or not. And that is Enemy at the Gates.
Interesting.
Enemy at the Gates. You got Ed Harris, and you got the other gentleman playing Vasily Zaitsev, right?
Interesting.
The Italian sniper.
Yeah.
Um, and just watching that battle because they're in the middle of war, but it's like one of those pictures where the background's blurred and you're focused on the person. Like
Yep.
war's going on, but you've got this cerebral, intimate sniper battle where they're appreciating the other's work.
100%. 100
Both are
percent agree.
both are extremely deadly, and they're masters of the craft of being a sniper, right? Because you don't trip over that kind of skill. Um, and yes, it's war, it's death. I get it, but there's just something artful and masterful about being at any craft, similar to professional athlete, to that kind of level.
No, yeah, 100% agreed there. That
I
yeah,
think
you're
I said
hitting
Italian. I
it.
think he was Russian. I think he was Russian.
You're
Maybe
hitting
I
it on there.
misspoke.
Nice job.
Yeah, I think yeah. So that for me is one of my favorite World War II Army movies. Saving Private Ryan's always a favorite, right? That's
Right.
kind of like a Tom Hanks, Matt Damon. Sorry,
Matt
Matt
Damon.
Damon. Um, you know, Vin Diesel. I don't know how he died being surrounded by family. That was super weird.
I mean, that's why
Gosh.
we all watch it, right? Just to watch Vin Diesel finally die in a movie.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Um, you know, it's neat to watch because you have movies that highlight, like Hacksaw Ridge was another great movie.
Hacksaw Ridge is
Um,
amazing. Yeah.
Great because he's a conscientious objector, but most people don't realize that, corpsmen and combat medics, right? The 68 whiskeys. Those dudes didn't carry weapons really in World War II. They were considered non-combatants,
Right. Right.
which never once stopped them from getting shot. And I think for me, one of the most powerful things that strikes a chord with me as a person, and as a medical provider was in the first, couple minutes of the movie, where that medic has been working on that dude on the beach, and he's working. He finally gets the bleeding to stop.
Oh yeah, and
The
then he just
dude
gets
gets
shot.
pinged in the
Yeah.
dome by
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
stray
Yeah.
round,
Yeah.
and it's the summation of war and the
Yep.
tragedy of it, and a whole bunch of other adjectives that you can roll in there.
Yeah, I can just imagine. That's your gig and that's your job, and yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, just because you that like, oh my god, I stopped the bleeding, this guy could bing.
Right.
Well, that's it. It's not the time, it's the resources, right? Because resources in any combat environment
Right.
are so hard to come
Oh,
by.
absolutely.
So hard to come by. Um, Are there any other Army movies or Army TV shows that really stick out to you?
I mean, to me, I think we all got to throw it back to Band of Brothers. I think that's
Oh yeah,
one of the one. I mean,
great.
and then I throw it to the Pacific. Like I said, I'm a gung ho Medal of Honor enthusiast, so obviously it's run through the gamut in World War II. So watching Band of Brothers and then watching the Pacific, you just get that different take, but you feel the realism in those shows. And I think that's sometimes what we miss in some of these military movies because we don't just get the combat and the realism. We also get the comedies, we get the romances, we get the over the top semantics, right? Um, excuse me, but I think that's what really gets me is that those realistic. If you look at, and we'll talk about this later. We'll talk top fives and our favorites,
Oh yeah,
our personal favorites. But I mean,
yeah.
just taking a look at knowing what my top five is, man, it's a lot of realistic stuff. So that's probably where I lean toward.
For me, shock of all shocks, I love MASH. Um,
Hey, there we go.
I love MASH. Just because it really does a great job of portraying the environment, right? Because when you're doing this stuff, you got to have it, especially in military medicine, you've got to have a sense of humor.
Right.
It's usually fairly dark,
Oh,
and
absolutely, 100%, 100%
right,
there.
but you've got to have a sense of humor. So MASH, I think, does a great job of having that sense of humor,
Yeah.
um, and and then really bring home a lot of the emotional moments. And depending on how where your military needle pings at, they kind of have that blatant disrespect for the Army, and its rules and regulations just up front throughout the whole series. But at the same time, like they're in the middle of a war zone, and that, you know
Yep.
what I mean.
Yep. Yeah.
That regulation isn't gonna extend their life because they have a crease in their top. And so
Right.
there's just
Correct.
something beautifully honest about the show that most
Yeah.
military people could never do. And I think that's why I find it refreshing.
Yeah. No. 100, yeah. I agree with you there.
And it's hard not to love Hawkeye Pierce, right? Hard not to love Hawkeye and
100%
Radar.
there. Let's go.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, but we could spend the whole time on just the Army, as much as that pains me. Um, just because there's so many other great services, but
Right.
the Army with all of its land wars and just the amazing things that soldiers do on a daily basis. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, that's pretty good for the Army. Creeping over, what would your next service that you'd like to cover be?
You call it, man. You're running this, man. This is all you,
Oh,
brother.
I know that's why I'm giving a dealer's choice.
Nah, nah. We'll let you take it. Go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so talk to me about the Coast Guard, the
Um.
service, the service that is kind of a service but not really a service because it's
So
under Homeland Security.
I think there's some definitely some good ones. What's the one with Ashton Kutcher about the rescue
That's
swimmer?
that's
And
probably the best Coast Guard movie ever
I don't know.
made.
I saw one the other day. Um. Is it Chris Pratt or Chris Pine? It's one of the Chris's.
That's Guardians
Um.
of the Galaxy, man.
No,
It's
no, 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 no.
not a
He's
military
working.
movie.
He's working at a Coast Guard facility, and there's an oil tanker that breaches ashore, and they go out past the reef basically to get past the waves, and they are in this small dinghy, and they finally get across, and they rescue everybody off the boat, and we watched it on Disney Plus. Finest Hours, that's it.
That's
I'm
it.
gonna run
Yeah.
with Finest Hours because to me taking it back from a Coast Guard perspective and seeing that heroism in that weather, yeah, that gets me. Again, you're going to notice this. My movies are those realistic moments, right?
Yeah. The Coast Guard as much grief as I give them because they're a sister service. Um, all joking aside, what?
All joking aside, he calls them that. I love it. I love it.
Hey, it's all family, right?
I love it.
Man, they kick ass and take names on a regular basis, and anybody who doesn't think the Coast Guard isn't amazing or tough doesn't know the actual Coast Guard.
Right.
Their
Yeah.
military academy and discipline is top notch,
Yeah.
and they're tough as nails, man. The big Navy has rules of engagement, all these sorts of things. Man, Coast Guard will just start lighting you up with the 50 cal shot across the bow because they're doing these narco missions. If you don't believe me, Google the video of the dude doing the submarine knock. That dude is, I think, my spirit animal.
Yeah,
right?
where he jumps
Like
off,
he's
jumps.
just
Yeah,
banging,
yeah,
just jumps on the
yeah,
hatch of the submarine,
yeah,
and that's just a Tuesday for old boy. You know
yep,
what I mean?
right, yeah, yeah,
That's just Tuesday.
yeah. No,
And
you're
so,
right.
but rescue swimmers especially, and seeing that movie and how it's done with, with Costner and then Aston, it's just an
Yeah,
amazing Coast Guard movie. There aren't a whole lot of them done,
no, no,
and
absolutely not.
there's even less of them done well. But that movie
Right.
is probably the pinnacle of appreciation for Coast Guard
Yeah,
movies,
agreed,
for sure. Um,
agreed there.
so what about the Navy?
That's easy. So I'm gonna take it back again to my childhood, and so my parents were divorced growing up. So on Sunday mornings we went to my dad's house for a couple
Yeah,
days, and I remember sitting watching AMC and watching Tora Tora Tora, bro.
Tora,
Um,
Tora, Tora.
I can't. I will watch that movie um, as much as possible, only because these newer movies with the effects and everything, they're great, right? I'm not gonna
CGI,
knock it; it's
man.
great. But Tora 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 has a special place, and again, I throw it back to Sunday mornings with my dad. So um,
Okay.
I'm
No,
gonna go with Tora 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 here.
that's great. I mean, that's just a different era of movies, right? Bridge over River Kwai, Run Silent, Run Deep,
Right.
Leatherneck, just all these different movies.
Yep.
For me, I think before I ever even joined the military, my favorite Navy movie has always been Men of Honor.
Yeah.
Um,
Men of Honor. Yeah. Absolutely.
it's just it touches on a lot of things, right? Um, it was way ahead of its time in terms of discussing, racial inequality um, and just some of the stuff that still goes on in the
Right.
military today, right? People don't want to think that things like racism, bigotry, hatred, and all those
They
things
happen
aren't in the
everywhere. It
military.
happens
They
everywhere.
happen.
Yeah.
They happen everywhere. They're just as rampant everywhere, and it's
Right.
just as sad wherever it occurs.
Right.
Um, but it's such an amazing movie. Um, Master Chief Bashir is an inspiration to me. And I don't think there's not a single time where I don't read or watch that courtroom scene, and I don't care how Hollywooded up it is, where he's talking to Captain Hanks, trying to get reinstated to be a diver.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's probably one of the most stirring military moments
See,
for
and that's
me
the thing. You got to have a
is
connection with
that
them. I think you got to have a
you
connection
do.
with them to really be able to call them. And the fact that
Right.
you have that personal call with some of these, and I'm running back to the old school like uh, you know kid kingpin
Connection's a
over here. So
connection. You
excuse
know,
me. That's yeah, absolutely,
connection's a connection, man. You know,
absolutely.
there's some Air Force movies and there's some Marine Corps movies, and I don't mean like John Cena as the Marine.
Oh,
You
come
know,
on. That's one of the best movies ever made,
that is
bro. WWE
it.
production.
I never saw the main actor the entire movie. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I mean, if you're really gonna go up there, see, this is where I go. Like Air Force. I mean, everybody goes Top Gun, right? And I don't. I go
Top
Independence
Gun's,
Day.
Top Gun's Navy, right?
I know. I know.
Okay, thank God.
I go
Okay.
Independence Day because Will Smith is Air Force pilot, bro. Let's go. Let's go. Like
I
I'll
don't
run
know why he
Independence
hates.
Day, and like if I'm going Marine Corps, I throw it back to that realism and that heartstrings pull of Taking Chance. Um,
Taking,
one
yeah,
of
it's,
probably the best
yeah,
military movies ever made. In regards to they kept everything as much as possible realistic. They kept everything as
yeah,
much as possible true to form when it comes to what actually happens and the uniforms that are worn. You don't see that in Hollywood. They always change something or
no,
do
you
something
sure
different, and
don't.
that's one of those where it just jumps at you, right?
Yeah, no, it's,
Mr. Awesome says the Marine was so awesome, all in caps. I love you.
oh, God. You can't even see the main actor, Mr. Awesome. I don't know how you survived. Um, I'd have to agree on the Air Force movie. Taking Chance, that's a hard movie for me to watch.
Oh, absolutely. It's hard. I
That's,
mean, I think it's hard for anybody that has friends, or, family in, but
oh yeah, no, I mean it's an amazing movie. It's just it's a hard movie to watch, right?
right,
There's so many good Marine Corps movies, right? Because
right.
everybody wants to be a leatherneck. Heartbreak Ridge is good. I love
Oh yeah,
Heartbreak Ridge.
yeah.
Um, it's just hard. It's hard because there's so many good ones to choose from.
There really is. Yeah, there absolutely is.
Um, Max wasn't awful. Independence Day.
Yeah.
Flags of Our Fathers was interesting.
Oh, if we're gonna really start
Um,
throwing back, yeah, yeah, you really go
you
back on
know,
those.
we talked about Wind Talkers. Um, although the Navy didn't consent, I thought Annapolis was surprisingly done well.
I actually like the story on that one. It gets a lot of grief, but I love the story in that movie.
It's nice to see that, the blue collar element, because so
Yeah.
oftentimes it's refreshing because military movies, profession of arms and war, um, and so many times that's other aspects are neglected to just see something like a blue collar story about a blue collar welder son going through the Naval
Right.
Academy,
Right.
and his buddies betting that he's not going to make it,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Um, you know, A Few Good Men, of course, is classic.
Yes, it is.
You know, you've got there's just so many good ones, right? Because everyone wants to be a Marine for some odd reason. It's like, but you can read. I kid. So, um, what about comedies, right? We've been definitely drinking the serious juice for a minute.
Comedies. Let's
What
go. So there's so
comedy?
many. There's so many like military comedies or those military movies that try that breath of fresh air in their movies. Um,
Which is
I throw it.
definitely not the Hurt Locker.
I throw it to Renaissance Man, bro.
Renaissance.
Danny DeVito and William Shakespeare just rocking it out. We get the march to some Shakespeare tunes. We
Yeah,
get to go watch Hamlet. We get to see these kids that join the army and according to the movie, don't have the intellect to be soldiers, and it's just it's a refreshing take on let's teach you how to be young people, young men, young women, and to not necessarily turn you into a soldier, but turn you into a young man and woman that has the confidence to do anything you need to do. But the comedic value and the comedy in the movie, a young Mark Wahlberg, bro, come on.
oh, absolutely. So I stay away from the Delta farce that in the Army now. Like I
Oh, you
can't
mean
get
you're
into
not
the.
Team America World Police on me over here?
No, I love Team America World Police. Hans Briggs, not Hans
No,
Briggs.
Hans Briggs.
Uh,
No, no.
for me, it's probably a tie between Major Payne and Down Periscope.
Oh, the Major Pain. Come
Yeah,
on,
just
winner, chicken dinner.
I just rewatched that I think a couple of weeks ago just because I saw it on Netflix.
Right, right.
Um, it's one of those movies I don't watch with my wife just because I try not to quote movies, but it's so hard not to quote that movie.
Yeah, yeah, I
Major
can see
Payne
that.
just killed that bad man with extreme prejudice. It's just
Oh,
there's so many good parts of that. And Down Periscope is just ridiculously inappropriate, but just the cast of characters and Kelsey Grammer does a hell of a job.
absolutely.
Mm, you know, um, Hot Shots is that slapstick over the top.
Yeah,
Tropic Thunder is always good for a
Tropic
couple of
Thunder's
chuckles.
always that throwback. Yeah, yeah, yep.
Booty sweat.
What's
Right. So
I got to ask you a question. I don't know if you have this on. I'm sorry if this is on your topic of things, but this
you
is
don't
now
seem
in my
very
head.
remorseful, but send it.
No, no, this is in my head now. What's one of the movies that you have not mentioned that most people don't give the time of day to watch?
Cadet Kelly featuring Hisney Duff. Is that what you're saying?
Yay! You just like
No.
Christy Carlson Romano. I get it. I get it.
You're not talking like that. Most people don't give credit to.
Okay, so like,
There,
okay, so
like there's
I'll take
that's
it.
a
I'll take it.
broad
Okay,
brushstroke,
so
homie.
we're still talking military movies, and you and I had talked about some of the movies from the earlier wars that some folks they just don't remember as those good military movies because they have other stories to them, right? They have that romantic story, they have that life story about survival. It's not necessarily all military. So like, what's
Sure.
one that just resonates with you that you don't think gets the love from the mainstream audience?
You know, if we're going back, and it's, people find it. I think G.I. Jane didn't get enough credit.
That's a great movie. Great
Um,
story, great movie.
it's and the reason people don't give it enough credit is just really machismo, and I say male chauvinism in
Yeah,
the sense that,
absolutely.
like, oh, a woman couldn't do it. It's not something that's easily adapted. The training is some of the most intense, most
Right, and then
strenuous
look at
training
today
in
and
the
someone's done it. You know
world.
what I mean? So
Right. But you look at it in the right circumstances, anybody could do anything regardless of gender, ethnicity, religion, whatever,
correct,
right?
correct.
But I think it was neat to watch. I don't like how they got Demi Moore's character there, right?
Okay,
Like, you're gonna do this. You know what I
correct.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But the line when they're doing the seer training and she's like, "Suck my dick," and she kicks him. It's like, that's just, if you don't cheer during that moment after
Right,
watching everything that's happened. I think I think one of the most underrated twists of the movie is how they're on a training op and it just turns real quick,
right. Yeah, 100%
right? A
real
lot
quick.
of,
Yep.
yeah, it just, well, this real world scenario really doesn't care about our training mission, and now we're here and we're the
Right,
closest element.
right.
Um, because I've had something like that happen to me on mission. No, I'm not a SEAL. I don't claim to be. Um, but I've been deployed where we're doing one thing, and hey, you're the closest unit on station. Shift course,
Right, right.
and you're going to support something that you're like, oh well, real world events. And so I think that's an underappreciated twist, and that maybe that's just my value because of the military service and experiencing something
Right.
like that. But if you're talking about underrated, I don't think that gets quite as much love as it should.
See, and then
Um,
I go back to a movie like Glory. You're getting
Glory,
that
great movie.
you're getting that Civil War vibe that I don't think
Oh no.
we don't give enough love to those men and women who fought in that war for this country's freedom
Yep.
against members of our own country.
Yeah.
Whether you're from the
Gods and
north or from
Generals
the
is another
south,
good one.
correct. Whether you're from the north or
Yeah.
the south, to me, it doesn't matter. We are all one union, and people that look at it for dividing is completely different in my eyes. It's a different story to go into altogether. But that movie, just seeing the things that happen. And I granted it's not factual. We don't know what happened, what didn't happen, right? But I just don't think that gets the love from the mainstream audience as it should, because that's one of the most important parts of our history. So again, I'm throwing it back
Yeah.
to my love of American history and stuff like that. But that's where I'm going with these. So
Yeah. I mean, there's so many. And you're right. And I like I said, I mentioned while you were talking, Gods and Generals was another one.
yeah,
Um, they really haven't done a Civil War naval movie, to my knowledge, um, which is crazy because that's when you look at some of the impact of, um, you know, some of the, some what the impact that naval blockades, the first Iron Battle of the
yeah,
Ironclads,
yeah. No, you're right.
stuff like that, but or even
It's tough because if
or
you
even the
try,
Revolutionary War.
yeah, I think it's tough to go back and do stuff like that nowadays because everybody wants the big booms and the stuff like that, and
Yeah,
that's
people
yeah, that's not what it was. So
people want SEALs rappelling down with flashbangs like it's a
right,
Call of Duty, game. It's not,
right,
right. Real war is ugly, dirty, nasty, and has
100%.
some boredom to it as well. You know what I mean?
So I'm
Um,
sorry for stealing your thunder and taking over the question, but I had
no,
to do
you're
that. That was
good.
just in my head. I had to
No.
ask.
Jake Gyllenhaal in Jarhead was another good Marine Corps movie,
That's a good
and
movie
another movie that
altogether.
doesn't get a lot. The line, well, why are you here? I got lost on my way to college. It's
Right,
classic.
right.
Classic. I would always do an over the top guffaw just because it would make my Marines pissed off when I was with him, right? Which is why I did most of the things I did, right? Having
Right,
growing my hair out, when we still could, because that's recently changed, but growing my hair out to the longest length possible just because it made their little Marine Corps eyebrows twitch. It was
right,
fantastic,
right.
But I loved my boys. I'd do anything for them, you know.
Yep.
But there's so many good movies, and you can spend. We didn't talk about Fury. You didn't talk about the pseudo things like Inglorious Bastards. You haven't talked about.
So that's what I was gonna, so like I
all
mean I have
kinds of stuff.
questions, but I'm trying to let you run through them. So
No, go ahead. This is it's a
so,
team sport.
again, I don't know what's on your list here. Let's go. What's your top five military movies all time? Your personal top five.
Top five military movies all time. Oh, there's so many. You have Men of Honor. You have Saving Private Ryan. I
Okay,
really enjoyed Hunter Killer.
it's a
For some
good,
of the
great movie.
for some of the conceptual
I
aspects
I
of
think
it.
that one deserves more
Um,
praise than it got. Yeah, absolutely.
it really it does. They tried to cheapen some aspects of it at the end. However, um, it was a great conceptually. Um, stuff like that. There's so many. You have Heartbreak Ridge. You have.
Well, you got to limit it to five here. We're giving your top
Uh,
five.
we're gonna go with we'll just go with top three for me.
Okay,
If
okay.
after three it gets
You can
dicey.
do that. That's cool.
Well, yeah, I'm leading the podcast. I'd like to think so. Um, it's like I said, Men of Honor, um, Saving Private Ryan. Um, nah, the third one's hard.
It is. It's tough once you're
It's
trying to
so
take everything
hard.
that's there that you enjoy yourself to put it in a list. It's tough,
Yeah,
man. And I think that's the fun in it. So I'll let you think about it for a second because I know mine.
yeah. Let me get yours because
Black
I
Hawk
get
number one, Black Hawk Down.
okay.
Number two, Saving Private Ryan. Number three is one
Yeah.
we haven't really talked about. U-571
Oh, good
coming
one.
in
Yeah, we haven't
coming
really
in
talked
from
about the silent service.
coming in from behind the scenes. U-571 there. So number four is Taking Chance, and number five is Renaissance Man. If I'm putting my personal top five, due to what's in my head and what's in my heart, those are my top five. It's easy for
Yeah.
me,
Uh,
knowing that I love the genre of film. I love the military
yeah.
film. Those are my top five.
So number three would probably be Hacksaw Ridge. Four would be We Were Soldiers.
Yep.
And
Excuse me.
five would be Enemy at the Gates. And then there's so many others that you can easily sub in and sub
There,
out to
there
four and
absolutely
five.
is. And as we
Just
get newer movies, like you think of, excuse me, the Amazon Prime movie, what the Tomorrow War. You get
yeah.
movies like that. You get movies like Hunter Killer. We get movies. We're always going to have those military style movies come out,
You
and
know,
we're always going to have new movies take
there's
place. But I just go back to those, and those are mine.
there's a lot of good. You familiar with the term MUTWA, right?
No.
Military operations other than war, right? I
Okay.
think they shortened it now, but that's kind of what I grew up with, right? I'm dating myself as the old guard here. Um,
The ancient one over here.
the ancient one. That's it. That's my call sign.
I like it.
So you've got you've got movies like The Rock, but there's some that I think about like The Kingdom. Did you ever see The Kingdom?
I
Jamie
did. I
Foxx.
did. I did.
Um, oh man, I tell you what, we had got a hold of that when I was in country. Right, it was Fallujah 2007, so about 6 months after we took the city.
Okay.
And so we got a hold of a copy of that, and we watched that movie before going out on a night patrol. And I don't know that I've ever been more alert in my life on a patrol. It was intense, you know. Um, but that was a great movie.
It is. Like
The Rock,
we haven't talked about Three Kings. Going into
Uh,
Baghdad and stealing Saddam's gold, right? We haven't talked about that.
so for the longest time growing up as a baby doc, they used that scene from Three Kings to show um, the tension pneumothorax where he stabs him with the needle to let
Yep,
the
yep,
air
yep,
out.
yep, yep.
Right, an Ice Cube, that class. Can you breathe?
Yeah,
Can you breathe? And he stabs him. It's actually fairly accurate, which is super
that's
surprising.
crazy.
Yeah, but they use that as a lot for a training reference, right? That clip was almost in always the PowerPoint slides going
That's
over that
awesome.
stuff. Um, you know, so that's you have Three Kings is a good one. I can't do The Hurt Locker. That movie just that you have to for me that movie you have to separate. And what I mean by that is they do this amazing job of showing something that a lot of people will never maybe even pick up on. And that's not an insult to America in general. If you watch it and you watch the guy and he's just stuck in the cycle of deployment. He always wants to be gone because
Yeah,
being deployed is so much easier than being at home sometimes.
yeah.
And it
No, I get
sounds
that.
it sounds ridiculous, but you kind of got to be there to understand. And that's not a knock on anybody, right?
Right.
Because you know what you're doing on most days, right? Food's prepared, you know when it's served, you know where you shower, there's the gym, and there's the job, and there's really not a lot of the extra drama that kind of comes with, first
Right.
world problems.
Right.
You're not worrying about your cell phone signal or Wi-Fi password, things like that. And so they do a great job of showing that kind of emotional wear and tear and that emotional strain on the character, which is an amazing job by the actor. And then you have the hot garbage part, which is the rest of the movie.
I hate to kind of get you going a little bit. Do you have anything else on that list of questions here for military movies?
Military movies. It sounds like you have a couple. Why don't we go with some?
No, I have nothing. That's why I'm asking. I have nothing.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking.
No, we've kind of talked about. I didn't know how long some of these would
go. And
so
that's
I'm at
the
conversational piece.
I love that we were able to just kind of sit back, talk, relax about these movies. But as we said earlier, guys, let us know in the comments down below what military movies you're kind of partial to, what your favorites are. Like I said, I'll be in the comments, chatting up with y'all. Titan says he's getting in there, so we'll be in there shortly to kind of chat with you guys as well. But definitely let us know. Titan, this was a fun topic, bro. Thank you so much for choosing this one.
Yeah, it was good. Thanks for the the opportunity for sure, man.
Absolutely,
I really
man.
Enjoyed it.
So we're not sure what next week's topic's going to be yet. We're going to sit down, we're going to brainstorm and figure it out. But I'll let you guys know as soon as I know. But thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of King's Corner. If you're watching here live on Twitch, I appreciate y'all being here. It means the world that you're sitting here, listening, interacting with us. If y'all are watching on YouTube, again, thank you so much. Hopefully y'all are enjoying the series. But for Fighting Titan, I'm AC Kingpin 27. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys are enjoying. We'll catch you next time for the next episode of King's Corner. See you later.